our way through, but we feel invigorated. We feel blessed to be where we are. And more than ever, we have really implored people to be patient. And I know that your patience is wearing thin with us. You message us and our communication is great. So what we wanted to do tonight was to welcome summer. You can see we haven't seen our CEO, Mr. Hoffman, in an open neck shirt for some 3 months now. He's normally buffled up with a jacket and a scarf, and winter was nipping, but we can see that summer is here. It's upon us, and we are truly hoping for a very busy November, December. If all goes according to plan, we are sincerely hoping that we won't have a Christmas shutdown. But what we're doing is we're going to break up into two parts this evening. We're going to have Andre giving us an update on where we stand, and then Checkmore. I've just seen him pop in. We just want we'll ask Checkmore for 2 minutes at the very end to just give an understanding of what he's been through. But tonight, our guest speaker is our very own Burbick Beloy, who wants to just reinforce the do's and don'ts and the protocols of MyTechie. Just we're on the cusp of getting busy, and in fact, Andre will explain to you that we had really hoped that our guest speaker was going to be somebody from Supersonic, but Andre is going to explain to you why it hasn't been. I've got to declare Andre has a huge timing issue. At 5 to 7, he has to be off. He is chasing down another tender for us very aggressively with incredibly tight deadlines. So, Mr. Andre Hoffman, our CEO, over to you.
Thank you, Sharon. I hope you guys can see my new fresh spring summer look. Much clean shaven. Got rid of the COVID fur. But yeah, no, we're ready to get rocking and rolling. So yeah, so just to update you on what's happening, Supersonic is obviously top of mind. We started working with them since April, May, June. It's been trickling along. But what happened since then, as you all know, there was a semiconductor shortage, and that slowed things right down. Then they had some staff changes at Supersonic. Eventually, they gave us a master services agreement. And that's a big, thick legal document of almost 60 pages that they wanted us to sign. And that brought to the fore a number of key things, which I've had to try and navigate. And there's some good news, and there's maybe some not so good news. But anyway, I think overall it's good news. We've managed to make them an offer which is palatable. But you'll understand that as far as Supersonic is concerned, they just want to deal with one big contractor. They see MyTechie as one big contractor, even though we as MyTechie are not a contractor. We are an agency for many contractors, for all of you, and we represent all of you to them. So they wanted us to sign this master services agreement, and we were not able to do it in its current form. But two things have happened since then. There's a gentleman on the call tonight that's his name is Solly. We are working with Solly and his company Nifracom, and we're going to be represented to Supersonic by two different companies, by Solly's company Nifracom and also by Ultra Nexus, and I'll explain how that'll work in a moment. This contract requires us to have a whole lot of insurances, public liability insurance. Let me just mute somebody here. By the way, everybody needs to understand that we are recording. So if there's anybody with any objections to that, they must. Why is there noise? Who is talking here? Mute all. Okay, now you can all hear me. So the contract has got a whole lot of insurances that they require us to have. It also requires us to do logistics and warehousing, and there's a whole lot of tiered pricing. There were things that we couldn't accept in the current form, but we've managed to navigate all that. I've got a meeting on Thursday with the general manager of Supersonic to get clarity on a few things. So there'll be some communication to you in the coming days as to how this will work. They were supposed to relaunch the product on the 1st of November. That hasn't happened, but I'm expecting to hear from them this week, either tomorrow or Thursday, as to when the relaunch will take place. But then I think it'll all get back on track. We've had about 36 of you guys and girls trained in Gauteng, and then they've got to tell us, when the next training sessions are going to occur, so that we can get the guys trained. So there will be some adjustments to the commercials as a result of this, but it's not going to be. We're trying to keep it within a manageable level, and it will give you feedback on that. And it'll only apply to the supersonic project on its own. But then also in terms of, let's call it fairly good news, we entered in an RFI in February, which turned into an RFP, which we followed up with an RFP in July this year. And we did a consortium with UltraNexus. And that was an RFP to take on a role as a turnkey service provider to MTN. MTN decided to outsource its entire plan, build, operate, and project management of its entire operation preferably to local service providers. And you'll be happy to know that MyTechie, in collaboration with UltraNexus, has been shortlisted for that work, which we have to now present our case on Thursday. They gave us 5 days to prepare a presentation. They've said that they've shortlisted us, which means that they're taking our bid seriously, which means that there is potentially going to be a lot of work coming from the whole of MTN, not just Supersonic. Supersonic is just one subsidiary of MTN. And then there's going to be a massive amount of work. And you all know you've all heard probably of the company UltraNexus. They're part of the Ultron Group. It's a JSE listed company. So UltraNexus is our partner there, and they themselves are quite interested to use MyTechie for their own projects. And they do a lot of projects for local and national government across the country. So they're going to start using us as well. So that's also good news. And then assisted by Solly, who's on the meeting tonight from Nifracom. He's assisting us getting a tender for DFA. We're not sure if we'll get it, obviously, but we're confident that we've got a good value proposition. Dark Fiber Africa is a very large builder of optical fiber network across the country, and they've gone out on a tender for civil build works. And Solly has invited us to join him with his company and bid for that. So there's a good chance that we'll get a piece of that work as well. And there are a couple of other similar ones like that. We're doing work currently in Knysna for LaserNet, doing a bit of work there. We're also just going to be starting next week in Limpopo, in Polokwane. There's some work that we're doing for Brightlink, for Quipire and Brightlink, which is part of the Vumatel build. I spoke to another company last week that have got work to be done in Mafeking and here in Gauteng. So they also will come on board with MyTechie. We also started work in Cape Town this past week for a company called MPU Communications. We're doing a LAN local area network there. That's going quite well. So generally things are starting to pick up. I'm getting the sense now that this pandemic is winding its way down. People are getting a bit thinking things are going to come back to normal, and we believe they will be. We obviously can't take things too lightly. We still have to wear our masks and be careful. There is a fourth wave supposedly coming, but all of that's going to dissipate. We're hoping that the semiconductor crisis will also wind its way out in the first quarter, towards the end of the first quarter next year. So that's the news. We should have more clarity on Supersonic specifically this week, once I have a meeting with the general manager on Thursday. Any questions on that? Put your hand up, talk to me.
So, Andre, it doesn't seem we've got questions on that. I just want to add before you continue and just say, truly a big thank you. Oh, Nakedi, your hand's up. What would you like to ask?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned about the training. It seems like they take much place in Gauteng. The other areas like Limpopo, we've never received any training. It's like we've received none at all.
Yeah, that's correct. And the reason for that is they haven't rolled out in Limpopo. They've lit no base stations in Limpopo. Didn't have enough equipment to do that. So they will do that, and they will, as soon as they have got equipment for Limpopo, they'll start the training in Limpopo. But we're keeping an eye on that. They want to roll out nationally. This is not just a Gauteng project, it's a national project. And they've only got enough equipment to do some work in Gauteng. And that's one of the questions I'll be asking Shireen, this week. When is the other provinces kicking in? We haven't forgotten you in Limpopo.
Mashudu, before I take your question, I just want to say we've had several meetings with Supersonic. They had promised us that rollout was going to be on the 31st of October. We were having a meeting with them on the 29th of October, and they were very excited, Mapula, to be a guest speaker to talk to you directly. They've have sent Andre their base stations. They've made it clear that it is a national launch. Andre's explained to you where we stand on the contract, that it's taken some very intense negotiations on Andre's part, and that they want to deal with one principle. We have between 500 and 700 techies on our books, and they, for obvious reasons, don't want to enter into 500 contracts. So Andre has had to work and consult his legal team to make sure that we are compliant with their wishes. So he's been working truly hard, and I want to give a huge thank you. But MyTechie, I mean Supersonic, the minute we see that they've uploaded the packages on the website, we know they're ready to go. They have also said that they're very excited with the ideas that the technicians gave us at one of our talks, that, you know, if we sell in our local community, you know, it will obviously increase orders. So guys, it is looking super exciting as to where we stand with Supersonic. But Mashudu, please ask your question to Andre.
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
My question is, can you please, actually it's a suggestion, can you please specify the places where the trainings are taking place? Because we really want to join. I'm in Gauteng. I, for one, I'm in Gauteng. I really want to get to train on this Supersonic thing, but I have no idea.
Yeah, we've got
really,
your.
I have no idea. And most of the things we're not being updated on WhatsApp, because it's been weeks now, if not 2 or 3, without any update on WhatsApp. What's happening? What's going on? What's taking place? Where? How far are we? Yeah, that's the thing. We lacking knowledge of what's going on in this thing. So some of us we really don't know. Actually, we really need to catch up, because we are a bit far behind. So please, you guys really need to be updating us like every time, every minute, so that we may not left behind.
So we're updating you now.
Thank you.
This training is dependent on MTN, Supersonic, and United Wireless, and we ask them every week for that training when they give us a slot. And we're not the only company. There's 2 other companies that submit for training. The training is done online, and they've only given us 2 training sessions so far in Gauteng, only Gauteng. They're not asking for other regions yet. And we've got a list of about, just in Gauteng alone, about 100 technicians that are waiting for training. So don't stress that when the next one comes up, we will notify you when we've got something to tell you. At the moment, we're dependent on those 2 things, when they will do it for us. And yeah, but we don't want to sort of give you the updates every week that there's no training this week, there's no training, we're waiting for next week. It will come. We've got your name in the list, and once you've got the training, there's going to be a practical that you will have to do as well, and that will be involving actually doing an installation. And I think one of the main reasons why it's been so delayed is also the semiconductor crisis. They haven't got equipment. They can't train you. There's no point in actually giving you training if they can't do an installation. You will have forgotten it by the time you do the installation. But don't stress, it's coming.
Thank you, Andre. Are there any more questions? Hi, Dizzy, how are you? Dizzy, is this Dizzy from Mamelodi who does the gin?
Yes, it's me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give a special shout out to Dizzy. Chucky Dizzy was one of our first clients in Mamelodi for air fiber installations. And Chucky's given us apologies, he's battling to log in. But Dizzy is a true entrepreneur who distills custom, boutique. When we finish, Dizzy can give a small thing. But unique gins are distilled in our very own Mamelodi. So it's awesome to have such an exciting entrepreneur join us this evening. And are you happy with your air fiber installation? Please say yes.
Yes, I'm currently happy with my installation. I haven't had any problems with it thus far. Everything is running quite smoothly. It's just that I need a UPS for my device so that during load shedding I am not locked out from the world.
And we were speaking about that yesterday.
Yes,
I'm
Chucky and I were
online,
speaking about that
Sharon.
last night.
I'm online, Sharon.
Oh, Chucky, join us.
I'm online.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's nice to have you on board, Chucky. Andre, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I'm open for questions. I've given everybody the feedback. We need to press home the message that the training is required, and we need clarity from Supersonic, as they all know. So we know what we have to do. All I'm saying, guys, expect next year to be very different. This year has been a bumpy road with pandemics and all the other things, but next year it's lining up. We've got some very nice irons in the fire, which are going to come through soon.
Thank you, Andre. Now, Burbik, I'm going to hand over to you. Burbik, as you know, is our project manager. We are incredibly fortunate to have him as a core member of the MyTechie team. As MyTechies, you will engage directly with Burbik on a one-on-one daily basis. And he was very specific to say he wants to engage with you. He wants to get to know you better, but he's going to take us through some brief comments that he's pulled together. So Burbik, over to you. But my friend, you have to unmute.
And a video also. We don't know baby facial. We always speak on the phone, but then we don't know baby facially.
That is probably coming from Chucky.
Yeah, Burbik's very good looking. Take it from me.
My pleasant greeting to you all, and thank you for your attendance. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yes. Yes. Can I draw your attention to the following couple of things that I've noticed throughout the installations that we previously did. So there are a couple of things that I've written down for us to adhere to going forward. And also, after I've spoken, I will have some document to be shared by Sharon. So the things that I need to be talking about today is from topic 1, it will be a behavior of a professional installer. So to start with, immediately when an installer get a call out, they need to confirm the appointment with the client. And then they need to make sure that they treat the client as if it's their last client, and do not make any promises that they shouldn't be making promises that they won't be able to keep. And also, we need techies to confirm with our client before they leave their premises if the clients are happy. And also another thing that we realize is when we busy doing the installation, we need to make sure that everything that we're doing, we need to make sure that the next person, whether it will be a person who will be coming there to do a maintenance work, mustn't find it hard for them to perform their duties as well. So if we do a work, we need to make sure that we leave everything in place. And then there are also a couple of things that I've realized that we also need to consider. For instance, making appointments with clients. When you are out as a techie, you are not allowed to make any appointment without the office knowledge. So if you make an appointment, you need to first let the office know what is happening. And then also the issue of arriving late at the at the client's premises. Another thing, we're not allowed to give away anyone's cell phone number. Perhaps Mr. Andre, Sharon, it could be me, it could be anyone. It is not allowed to share numbers without our knowledge. So we need to consider things like those. And another thing, when we are on site with our laborers, we don't have to leave them unattended, especially inside the homes of the clients. And we need to always, under supervision of what our laborers are doing on site. So those are the things that I wanted to touch base on. And also from the previous works that we did, I also encountered that most of our techies, they will go to site even when they do not have a Centricity app downloaded. And this is a very big problem because now we need to have the app in order for us to do the work. And also we need to avoid doing numerous trips to site because we need to remember we have a service level agreement with our client. We cannot start work late and finish work late. And also during the process, we need to communicate like what our techie, Mr. Checkmore, has been doing lately on an installation in the Northern Cape. They always kept us abreast, and that's what we are looking to hear from anyone on the group, to always communicate with us so we know what is happening. And also the site contact person, when we done working, we need to make sure that the site contact person is the one who put the last signature to say that no, they are okay, they are happy with the work that we have done. And then that's it. And apart from that, I would like to thank our techies, Chaki Napo, Mr. Checkmore, and other techies which has been doing work for us. And I believe that they need to also get a platform just to tell us on how they are feeling about the work that they've been doing, so that the others which have been waiting for work, they can be able to realize that there has been work that has been happening on the ground. So over to you, Mr. Chage. I'm not sure if you were ready to explain to us.
Burbick, let me just jump in before we bring Chucky and Checkmore in. I just want to say thank you so much for putting this together. It's truly appreciated, and I will send this out to all the techies. And what Burbick is saying here is that he's outlining the behavior of our team. You know, it's so important that you phone the client beforehand to confirm the appointments, to make sure that you're on time. that we've had some technicians that were hours late or who didn't arrive, and we're trying to swap around. And, that's simply unacceptable. When Burbeck said, you have to do this job as though it's your last job, because, if people score you 0 out of 5, it very well may be your last job. So it's so important as a team that we all move together. I've always used this example, and you guys have heard me a million times. You have to explain to the client, do you know why I'm here? Do you know what I'm doing? I'm going to be drilling a hole here. It's so important that you find the broom, you clean up any dust you've made with drilling, any bits and pieces. I mean, the client's home must be more pristine than when you arrive. So, this is all part of being your own business, of being an entrepreneur that builds the brand together. But, before we hand over to Chucky, our latest person that's just been like really awesome, Checkmore. And Checkmore, I'm going to ask you just to give a brief overview, but I don't think you'll believe us when we tell you some of the challenges that we have. Checkmore was given an address to do an installation of VSAT on behalf of our QCon clients, and their client was the IEC. And when Checkmore arrived at the destination, the client had given the wrong town. Checkmore had driven 124 kilometers in the opposite direction, and he had been there keeping in constant contact with us and the client, only for the client to say, oops, my mistake, that's the street address, but we got the town wrong. So Checkmore, maybe you just want to give a brief overview before we hand over to Chucky, just to say what it was like being possibly the only technician that we've dealt with that the client gave you the wrong town accidentally, and how you had to improvise over a weekend in making a bracket to sustain an installation on a semi-permanent structure.
Good morning, team. Yeah, I can say it's some of those things that you meet with customers, but one thing I know for sure is to be cool and keep your head down and explain to the customer and make the understanding. But yeah, it was fun. To me, it was fun. I wasn't angry. I wasn't bitter about what was going on, but I was keeping on advising the customer and keeping the customer in touch. Yes, they made a mistake, and this is the road we're gonna take. This is how we're gonna do things. And always the customer, instead of being timid and all those things, we were actually having fun and enjoying all the way through. Although it will be costly along on the customer side, but you won't get angry of what has been done. But however, on the side of installation, I think I was posting everything that we did on the side of the installations, and apparently there were other 2 visa dishes. And after my installation, the customer asked to say, why can't you do these 2 as well? And I said, no, I'm not sure. That's not ours. And he was really impressed by what type of installation we have done to his system. And yeah, we were posting everything on the app. And I had to go and design a MyTechie sticker so that they know what exactly the professionals can do. So yeah, apart from having those problems, it was fun. And the customer as well, they forgot. They gave us the job and they forgot to give us the equipment to do the thing. And I want to commend Andre for running around fast. I tell you, I got the equipment the next day. I did not have time to study that equipment, that tester, that submitter. It was open and do the job, and we just did it the way they wanted it. And yeah, that was very good. To me, it was fun.
Well, Checkmore, it was such a pleasure dealing with you, and to the people who voted at that voting station, we can give a round of applause to you for allowing the IEC to be operational. But this is just an indication of you are going to have curveballs thrown at you. It's how you deal with it. As Checkmore said, he kept us in constant contact. The client was over the moon. He became a liaison between the client and the IEC at a point. So it was for us, maybe we were stressing at this side, but Checkmore was taking it in his stride. And yeah, he designed a sticker that said, this is it. This job is done with professionalism and pride, and it's a MyTechie job. So we are very excited that that went off seamlessly. We know that a number of people have undertaken the VSAT test. We know that it's tricky and it's complicated. And we just have urged everybody, if you didn't, there's the sticker that Checkmore designed and printed and made sure was on the satellite dish. So thank you, Checkmore. Just there you have it. What we're going to do, Checkmore, is we're going to ask you to give us this in more detail, because this is definitely an experience that people can learn from. So we want to thank you, and we want to ask you that we go through this. Is that the famous?
That's the sat meter. Yes, that's the sat meter.
That's the 2,700 Rand piece of equipment.
Yes, yes.
Treat it like gold. Don't lend it to anybody.
Yeah, definitely I will. And the other thing is QCon, the control room. They were very, very impressed. They never, it was the last 10 minutes, if you can call it the last 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes before they closed, and I was still on top of the building. And we did it so professionally. And by the time we get into the building, we switch off the decoder. Those guys just logged in, and they never expected me to do extra extraction. And they were quite excited, and they were very thankful.
And that just built the MyTechie brand. I mean, it's these types of good news stories. And Chucky, it's so nice to have Chucky and Dizzy on site, because Chucky was a groundbreaker in Mamelodi. We've had Annie, who's been following hot on the heels on these gentlemen. There's going to be woman power snapping at these men's heels every day. And we are so proud of our diverse team. We truly are. Chucky, I know you've addressed the audience before, but I'm sure you want to just concur with Checkmore and explain that in the very beginning, you made some mistakes that maybe, we've all learned from the very first person. When we've had these techie team talks, we've said the importance of doing the pictures, the importance of documenting your evidence so that the client is appraised every step of the way. But Chucky, is there anything you want to add?
Afternoon, guys, or evening.
Evening.
Evening, Mr. Napo.
The first thing that I can tell you, don't panic while you are at the client's place. Don't panic.
Yes.
And relax, take your time, and tell yourself that I want to satisfy the client so that he or she can refer me to another client. So I can say now we are having more clients who are applying each and every day, especially on my side. Then I want to push MyTechie to the very best level. So we've done mistakes. It was our first installations, but then going forward, we've ended up being professionals on that. So I don't doubt any time or anymore that I can even do that. I can even install while I'm sleeping. So seriously, I'm serious on that. I can even install while I'm sleeping. And on that one, the referrals or these guys who are having problems, I was having countless phone calls, even at night. Some of them, it just goes off, or a cleaner comes in, then they clean, they forget to plug in, or they want to wipe off the router, then they unplug the cables. They don't know how to put back the cable. The RJ45s or whatever cables that we are using, it's a problem. They will be calling you so long as the client is satisfied and is having your phone number at any time, they will be calling. But then most of my clients are satisfied, and they've given me referrals. So I'm satisfied with this supersonic. Let's push it modern. I was even on my Facebook page. I even marketed it on my Facebook page. So I'm having lots of clients.
Chucky, I've got a question
that.
for you. You had a problem this month with payments that were late, right? And it got sorted out.
Yeah.
So we are making mistakes inside our business as well, but we are sorting them out, and we're making sure you chickies get your money. But sometimes we have to fight a little bit, but we will make sure you get your money.
That's what that's my response was said. I know you'll come through for me. Thanks a million.
We will definitely do that.
And I was bugging Baby every day.
But Berbik said that you mustn't give our numbers out. But what these numbers I want from you is the lotto numbers for Friday. Please, I need to WhatsApp.
That's
I will never do that. And another thing on the location issue. So these guys sometimes, these guys, if they're doing their routing for assessments, so maybe they don't come inside the house or the yard. So they just take an address from the street. So it won't say the full address. If mine is 14224, it might say 8, but then Mututsi Street. But then while you are driving, it might drop you maybe 500 meters away from that yard. So don't panic. You just drive, or you ask around, do you know this person? Or you call that person, are you around? Check out my car, wait outside. I'm driving such a van, wait outside, then that's me. Simple as that.
This is all stuff from the team that this is all such important knowledge that you will never ever learn in a training session. This you'll only learn from your colleagues. And it's so important. And we will have a dedicated session listening to our colleagues, because there's no formal training that can teach you what you're learning from our colleagues. I can't see, sorry, I'm battling. Is any online? Andre, can you see if any's online?
No, she's not.
She's not online. But we will get Annie to chat as well, because Annie's also done some installations for us, and it's really been. I cannot reiterate enough how proud we are. We know that the work has been slow this year, and it's for a variety of reasons that we reiterate. And
Luckily, Sharon, on any installations, I was doing decommissions. So I was going there first, then I will call Annie. This is my location, because she was struggling to come around. So I'll go there first, then do the decommissions, then I'll call Annie. Okay, Annie, this is the place that I'm at. Then I'm telling 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 right. Go straight, you'll see my parking.
Awesome.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chucky. Thank you for that, and we thank you a lot for how have you been dealing with our clients. But with regard to this client calling you out to fix faults for them, I recommend that you refer them to Supersonic. Because once the job is closed, it is not allowed for you to go back there without office knowledge. However, we would like to thank you for all the efforts.
We just want to know, Chucky, if you are related to John Wick.
Unfortunately, most of the clients that I've connected at,
yes.
I know them personally. So it was not even a hassle for me driving back to them to help them. So like they know me. So they know where I'm laying my head. So it was, some of them is just a stone throw away from my house. So I could even walk, go there, then just check.
That's the idea. We are the community in the community. We help the community. That's why we are.
I just want them to be satisfied. Their satisfaction, they will do our referrals.
True.
So
absolutely.
There was even one. She even called me. It was on a Friday. Called me, Chagi, come to my house. I'm having guys who are here seated. all these guys, they need supersonic. Give us, I'm not going to give them your number right now up until you come here. Then I went there. I didn't even drive. I just walked. I came to that house. Then I sat with them. I explained to them how a supersonic is working. We only buy speed. Our system is uncapped. We only buy speed. Then I took out my phone. I showed them the speeds that we are having. Then I even showed them some of other ones they were using rain. I told them about the speed test. I told them, do your speed test right now. Rain is around 3.1. Then ours will be running from 50 upwards. Then they were so impressed. They said, we are going away from rain. We are coming to supersonic.
Awesome. These are the stories, the good news stories that you want. And please, guys, feed these to me. You know that I'm on social media, update Twitter daily. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So these types of stories, please feed to me. It's important that we keep raising the profile of the organization. Ms. Shuda, your hands up. Please ask your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. My question is, and thanks to Chucky that he's sharing his experience with clients. So that's a good thing, and we are learning a lot from him. But one thing that I would like to ask is, I've seen Mr. Baloyi, Mr. Babrik.
Yes, Mr. Mashori.
He's been posting. I don't know if it's what we should do and what not to do on site when we are to meet the clients. And apparently, Mr. Chucky, he's been, I don't know what to call it. He's been against what was being told to us, or he's been breaking the rules. So is it okay that if I have someone that I know and make it my person?
So, Mashudu, what's always, and I'll let Andre answer formally, what's always important is these rules are a guideline. You are entrepreneurs in your own thing. You don't report to a company. The whole reason that you joined the MyTechie team is that you can develop your own business and become a thriving, successful entrepreneur. There will be instances where, for example, as Chucky said, people said, come and chat to us. I know sometimes if somebody asks me to take my wires out my DSTV and reboot it, I simply cannot. And I would love to have a friend that would be able to pop around and say, let me help you. So there is a fine line with building the brand and being customer service orientated. There are certain non-negotiables with regards to the app and logging the work and taking the pictures, and there are certain non-negotiables. When you as an entrepreneur will have to judge for yourself when the time comes and the client says, listen, it's not working, and you're in close proximity, and you know in all likelihood you are not going to be able to charge the client for this work, that will be a decision you will have to make to say, do I go and see if I can assist on the goodness of me as in terms of developing my brand and the MyTechie brand, or should I refer it directly back to MyTechie? So there are certain areas where you are going to have to take your initiative and seize the initiative. And I think it will be what differentiates good technicians from great technicians. But Andre, I'll pass over to you for a formal answer.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. Yeah, the issue isn't really what we're saying from MyTechie point of view. The standards that are set by your clients, the supersonics. What we'll try and do is give you the tools and the skills to be able to be a professional. And the only thing that's important really is the standard that the client has said that they want done, and that's what we need captured on the app. What we've had in the past is people have not captured the evidence correctly before and after, and then it's very difficult for us to get sign-off and payment for you for the time that you've spent there. So that's really the message that we can simplify this to, is the client sets the standard. we're going to try and help to make you a very professional technician. You're not there just because you're working for a Telkom or a Vumatel or anyone else. You're there to look professional, and we'll help you with those skills, and also to get you a good rating. And if you do the job according to what the client wants, capture the evidence up front and post, and you get it on the app, it's timestamped, geolocated, you'll have no problem. It'll be very easy for us to get your money. And that's what we've had difficulty with before, where it's captured offline or incorrectly or improperly. Then it's very difficult for us to get your payment for what you need done. But we're running out of time now. I think I'm going to have to wrap up.
Yep, just very, very quickly. Has anybody, with this hour's flown, any other questions for Andre or Burbic or myself?
Can I answer to Mashudu?
Yes, please do.
I'm Mashudu.
Yo.
I was not breaking any rules. Like these guys, as I've said, they know me and I know them.
Sorry, it came out the wrong way.
Yeah. So if she stays maybe 500 meters away from my house, then somebody comes in and she was trying to clean, then she plugs off the router. They don't know where to plug in whatever, the PoE injector, they don't know where to plug in. So they are struggling. So they're giving me a call, Chagi, are you at home? Yes, I'm at home. Our router is not working. Like as DZ did yesterday, she phoned me. He phoned me, said, hey, is your router online? I said, yes, my router just even came in online right now. For the past 30 minutes, I'm sure all the guys those we've connected on in Mamelodi, they were offline. So then that's when DZ we spoke about getting these UPSs. I told him, DZ, this is a very simple thing. You understand this is load shedding, then our router takes 10 to 5 to 10 minutes to come on. Then don't panic, Baba. Then it took almost close to an hour yesterday, the whole of Mamelodi. Do you know how many calls and WhatsApps did they come to my side asking, Chagi, is it yours on? So I know if somebody has a problem, I have to rush because I'm the one who services them.
Well, Chucky, that's why that's why our slogan is by the community for the community. And
thank you.
You've answered that question. Mashudu, has that generally answered the question that you were asking?
Yes. I'm satisfied. One thing is, I'll ask you, Sharon, to share what Mr. Chuck Moore presenting on the screen. Is it possible that you share those rules so that we
You mean Burbic rules? Burbic rules.
But what we're going to do is Burbic will, the PowerPoint that Burbic put up, I'm going to WhatsApp to everybody. So everybody will get it. And in terms of Checkmore's learnings of his VSAT installation, he's going to be our guest speaker at our next event. And if we can get Supersonic, they will indeed, so you can hear from the horse's mouth where we stand with Supersonic. And in terms of communicating training, I promise you guys, the minute we hear training, before I wrap up and just give over to Andre to say goodnight, I think, when you say you don't hear communication, you will see Andre very often, at least once every 10 days. Also, we'll put on the groups that are relevant. Has anybody got experience with the following? Has anybody got experience with this? So we do communicate. It might not be the communication you want to hear, and we understand that is coming. And we really want to say a huge thank you to the team, because we are a team. But Andre, knowing that we are 4 minutes over schedule, would you like to conclude and say good night to the team?
Yes, thanks very much, Sharon. Thank you very much to everyone for taking the time to attend. I promise you there's good news on the horizon. We see the green shoots of opportunity coming. We are close to some very, very big tenders. We believe next year is going to be a much, much brighter year than this year. This year was horrible. Last year was also horrible, but good things are coming. Please stay safe, all of you. Don't relax too much. There's still a pandemic around. Keep your masks on. Keep your learning going. We will keep you informed. We'll give you the good news about Supersonic shortly and the training that goes with it. So thank you very much, all of you, and good night.
Night, Andre.
Good night.
Go get us the business. Go make us some money. We need a good business. You're
Good